Hey peeps, and welcome to another IC82 video. At last, hooray! He finally reviews the Master of the Glens train set by Hornby. Yeah, apologies it's taken me so long to get around to doing it. I've just had so much to do. But we're here. I bought this from, oh my gosh, what shop is it now? Oh, I don't know what it's called. I'll put the details in the description below. But basically this really cute little shop. It's like a craft shop in Porthmadog in North Wales. And I really do recommend you go. If you're visiting North Wales, definitely drop in. You will not regret it. They have loads of trains. It's really, really good. This has actually been out for quite a while, as is usually the case now. I'm not the first to YouTube with this, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. I'm certainly keen to do it, because what's quite special about this set is this bad boy here. It's a P2, it's a Hornby P2 locomotive, and that's really quite special. The Hornby actually collaborated with the people that did Tornado. They actually collaborated with them in getting the P2 done. So there's this, like a budget version, this is like the railroad version, and then there's a premium version, which I've also got to show you a video on. Plus, there's even going to be a TTS sound. In fact, it might already be out by the time this video goes on YouTube. So that's really interesting. It's a really nice set, it's really big. You get, obviously, the P2 locomotive, it's tender, and then 3 teak coaches. They're not teak, they're plastic, but they're made to look. They're made to look like teak coaches. And it's really quite nice. It's nice to get 3 coaches in a train set these days. It doesn't happen very often. You get a oval of track, a complete oval of track, as you can see just here. You get a siding, although I don't really see what the point in the siding is. I mean, you could maybe park the loco up in it, but it's not big enough for the coaches. That always annoyed me as a kid. Always, still does, still gets to me. A cheapo controller, it just does the job. It's actually very smooth. It just feels cheap. It just feels a little bit low quality, but it does the job quite well. And then on the back, you can see that they're going on about the track mats again. They're going on about the set packs, how you can expand it to make it look like one of those, which I looked at in a video not so long ago. There's lots of accessories down here as well, but again, they're not really for the professional modeler. They're for people that are just getting into the hobby, or they're for kids. You know, if you've got kids and you're worried about them breaking something really expensive, if they break one of these, it's not a problem. It's quite inexpensive to replace. But they're there, they do the job, and you can actually, if you do buy these, what you can do is you can weather them, and you can repaint them and respray them and put nameplates on and things, and you can make them actually really, really good. So it is quite a cheap way, an inexpensive way of getting some pretty good scenery, to buy some of the cheap stuff and then upcycle it. that's all the rage now, it's all upcycling. Yeah, whatever. So, back to the loco then. So it's a Hornby P2, well, this is, the real thing was LNER, it was Gresley, as you can see just here, London North Eastern Railway. They only built 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's it. That's all they made. What? Compared to like nearly 500 Black 5s or something ridiculous, I don't know. So 6, very, very few. They built them from 1934 to 1936. They've got this unusual end, haven't they? It's like a sort of wedge. We'll have a look at it more closely in a second. The reason they did that was, well, I think it was 2 reasons. One of the reasons was aerodynamics, and then the second reason was to give the people in the cab a better view so that they could see more. It actually worked out, it actually turned out to be really good, and the design of it was inspired by the W1 class. W1. Go check that out. Do. Honestly, look up the W1. Oh my gosh, I have never seen anything like it. It's like something from the future, but powered by steam. So yeah, it worked really well. It was good for the steam, good for the engine, good for the efficiency, good for the people in the cab, the driver, the fireman. Yeah, just basically brilliant. You know, typical Gresley design, very, very cool. Although I think it was Dr. Dolby or something that inspired the redesign. Yeah, anyway, built in Doncaster Works, 1934 to 1936. Now, this is Cock of the North. Hornby have done Cock of the North, which is the first. This was, yeah, 2001. So Loco 1. But there were others, and they all had Scottish names. I'm not going to attempt to do a Scottish accent because I just end up like a really bad Sean Connery. And I love Scotland and the people of Scotland. I don't want to offend anyone ever, so I'm not going to bother. But some of the I think more cool names were Mons Meg. I mean, that just sounds Scottish, doesn't it? Mons Meg. Oh yeah, no, I was doing it then. I was gonna do the voice and no, Mons Meg. What a name! And Thane of Thane of Fife, Thane of Fire, Thane of Fife. That's a very, very Scottish name as well. Really cool. Now there's a chance some of those might come out by Hornby, and there's even a tiny chance we're going to see a new P2 actually built. The people that did the Tornado, I think they want to do a P2. I don't know what progress has been made. I don't know where it's going. At this point in time, I couldn't tell you, so go check it out. But I think they are trying to build another P2, and I think they want to call it HRH Prince of Wales. I think that was the proposed name last time I read about it. It's not the name I would have gone for. I don't think it's brilliant. I'd have gone for something like I don't know. What would I have named it? Ben Nevis. There we go. I'd have named it something really cool like Ben Nevis, which is the tallest mountain in Scotland. It's the tallest mountain, it's the highest mountain in all of the UK actually. So yeah, I'd have named it something like that. Right, so let's get the box open and see what you get inside. Okay, so as is usual, I'm not doing this stage to show people how to open a box, okay? I hope that everybody watching this video has the ability to open a box on their own. I'm doing this stage to show you what you get inside. It's called an unboxing. They're actually quite popular. But I still get people commenting saying, I know how to open a box, Will. Good, well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. Okay, so here we are. Packaging to one side. This is what you get inside. So you can see there you've got the loco, 3 coaches, track, controller, transformer, and then a pack of gumph. That, as we all know, is the technical term. So let's just have a quick gander at all this. So, I like these. I'm collecting these now. And Hornby, if you're watching, and I always say that and I know you are, you could maybe make these a little bit more special or something, because basically these have become collectible. I've got a binder full of these, it's like a little info sheet for every kind of loco. So this is the P2 info sheet, and basically this just talks about care and maintenance, where to put the oil, how to look after it. We've been here before, we've all seen this. And if you haven't seen this before, where have you been? But welcome anyway, take a seat, get comfy, I hope you enjoy it. So, there's the P2 info sheet. Then we've got a lovely little owner's manual. I mean, this is genuinely quite a nice thing to do this. It's probably time to update it, but for people just getting into the hobby, and many people do get into the hobby with a starter set, with a train set, it tells you where to go next. Tells you how to assemble baseboards, how to get creative with your layout designs, and it's quite nice. You know, to throw it in for free, it's really quite okay. Hornby warranty registration card. Still have never done one of those. I've never filled one of those in. And then your MIDI mat, your track mat. So this is quite a big one, and we're going to set that up in a second. You don't have to use these, but they're quite popular. A lot of people do, so we'll be setting it up on this. Right, so here's the loco itself, the P2. There's 3 teak coaches, and if I just read you the words from the box, they describe them as simulated. They're simulated teak coaches, which means they're plastic. They do the job. They're nothing expensive. Hornby are really quite fascinating because they have like tiers of quality. Whereas Bachmann just make pretty much everything the same standard, Hornby have like different levels, and well, think of that what you will. I can see the plus, I can see the pros, I can see the cons. The plus side is that if you really have the money and you really want a detailed version of this coach, you can buy it. But it costs about 40 quid. As of filming, it is about £40 per coach. You might be able to get them for less, and some places might even charge 47 or whatever. But this is the budget version. So the great thing is, if you wanted to make this coach, if you wanted to make this train really long with lots of coaches, then you can do that quite inexpensively. Just buy a whole load of the budget ones, and it'll look, honestly, if it's whizzing past really, really quickly, it'll look good. It will look good. If you have the money, then you can splash out on the really expensive ones, can't you? That have like little lights at each table that light up, you know. But hey, that's great. If you can do that, great. But not many people can. So there we go. Let's get the P2 out and have a look at her. Okay, so here we are with the loco out of the package. This is the locomotive, that's the boiler, the firebox, and this is the tender. So we'll put the tender to one side for now and just have a look at the actual loco. If I just take off this sort of plastic wrapper, you can see that actually, come on guys, come on girls, for a railroad model, this is pretty impressive. Because this is basically the railroad version, this is the budget one, so this is the one with not as good detail, not as good paintwork, not as good fire cab. Well, yeah, as you can see, the firebox detail, the cab detail really is quite lacking. But I mean, come on, for the money, for the set, for what you're getting, it's genuinely pretty good. Just have a look at this. Do you get small numbers? No, you don't. Okay, but what do you get? Well, you actually get quite a lot of detail for your money. There is a metal, well, at least it feels like it's metal. I'll be very surprised if it's plastic. But there's a handrail running down the entire length of the loco. And it's not just moulded, it's not part of the loco, that's been put on afterwards. You get a second one a little bit lower down, and it's the same on the other side. In fact, you get some piping on the other side as well, which I think, oh, actually it's not piping, no, sorry, or is it? No, I think it could be to do with the reverser, but I'm not too sure. You get quite a bit of detail here, which is, again, I couldn't tell you what it is, I couldn't tell you what it does, but it's impressive that they put it on. It could probably be, I mean, I'm not even sure if it's supposed to be that colour, maybe it's supposed to be a different colour, but I don't know. Maybe it is supposed to be that colour. But they've put it on, that's what matters. The nameplate is, yeah, it's not an actual nameplate. I think the premium version has an actual nameplate. It's not a nameplate, it is basically part of the plastic, it's part of this piece. But it does look smart, it is accurate. And you've even got the little, the apostrophe above the O, because it's supposed to be an F there, so it's Cock of the North. It's Cock of the North. It's written how it says, how people pronounce it, and I like that. That's really cool. Wow, just look at that wheel arrangement. And whilst I'm on the subject of the wheel arrangement, I have to point out that this was an incredibly powerful locomotive, people. Incredibly powerful. It was apparently designed to do the really tough Edinburgh to Aberdeen section, and that is a very demanding section of track, very demanding, which is why it was made to be so powerful. And talking of power, it had 43,000 pounds worth of tractive effort. I think it was actually 43 and a half. Basically, to give you an idea of just how powerful that is, a Black 5 is about 25,000. The Mallard is about 35,000. And this is getting on for 45,000. It was 43,500 or something. massively powerful. I mean, even the 9F, even the famous, really mega powerful 9F, was not as powerful as this. That was about 39,000 or something. I can't remember. But basically, all of those wheels, huge, powerful wheels, meant that this loco really did. I really like it in this colour. I think it looks really smart. I really do love the LNER green. It's is it apple green? Do they call it apple green? But the way you've got it on the wheels as well, it's just making me smile. It honestly looks really nice. And there you go. You can see the wedge sort of design I was talking to you about, just here. It's really quite unusual, isn't it? And that exhaust was part of the reason the locomotive was so powerful as well. In fact, the locos even had a special part around here. There's a special assembly by the smoke box that allowed you to swap out the exhausts and put different ones on. Just to experiment, just to find out which was the most efficient, which gave the most power. Because just like with a car, you need to get the exhaust gases out of there as quickly and as efficiently as possible. It does affect performance, and it's the same with a loco. I just wish that these were sprung. I really do. I'd be made up. In fact, if they had been sprung, I probably wouldn't have bothered with the premium version. Maybe that's why they did it. Just sell both versions. I don't know. I tell you, I've got to tell you, I really want to do a TTS sound version of this. I really do. I'm going to have to do a sound version because I bet that would be spectacular. So the tender's basically finished off to the same standard. Again, livery application is really nice. It's really neat, really detailed. For a railroad model, I mean, you've even got like a little bit of coal there at the bottom. The coal, I was going to say, is it removable? I don't think it is. If it is, it's not wanting to come out today. So I would say it's not. But you know, it's not a problem. You can paint this, you can apply materials to this fake coal load to make it look significantly more realistic. But it's genuinely not too bad. I've seen a lot worse. There's a fair bit of weight to it, considering it's just a tender and there's supposed to be nothing in it. It's not too bad. Metal wheels again. And then you've even got, you've even got a NEM coupling on the end. So you could whip out this tension lock and put in a KD knuckle coupler. You could put in a Roco. You could put in anything you wanted. And that's really quite good, again, for a railroad model. Just look at that. Isn't that stunning? Do you know, I've never really paid much interest to the P2 before at all, but I'm really glad I have one. Well, technically two, because it genuinely is a very attractive loco, and it's so powerful. It has such a fascinating history, and I just love it. I really do. Wow, wasn't that amazing? Absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure you'll agree. Right, okay, so let's really quickly then just check out these coaches. So this is one of the budget coaches, one of the budget teak coaches, and it really is quite budget. There's no tables inside or anything. But, well, actually, to be honest, I don't think this style of coach is supposed to have tables. I'm not too sure. But you can just have a look there and see that there's nothing inside. It's basically the, oh gosh, what do they call this coach now? Corridor. They call it a corridor coach because basically you've got a massive corridor down one side and then lots of little compartments where people sit. They're okay. They're genuinely okay. There's enough weight to them. They've got metal wheels, which is good, not plastic. The detail is basic, it has to be said, but then, you know, if they were to put the premium ones in here, this set would be so expensive. No one would buy it. It just wouldn't sell. So they've had to put the budget ones in, and I like that. I think that's good, that's fine. That's fine with me. You know, if you want to upgrade to the premium ones, you're welcome to do that. You could always sell these on eBay, or you could weather them up and make them look really, you know, knackered and falling apart, It's up to you. The possibilities are endless. So you get your track. It's third radius, which is really good. I haven't seen any second radius in a set for a long time. Third radius is a really nice gentle curve, really gentle, and it's perfect for a huge loco like the P2. You get some straights, you get some points, you get a point corrector, which is basically half a second radius. The controller is cheap. It does have to be said. It feels cheap. It's really lightweight, it's really plasticky, but it genuinely does do the job quite well. The power it sends to the track is really smooth, and you get some pretty good DC control out of what is a very basic controller. So I can't complain too much. You get a siding, you get some buffers for your siding. Hornby have been putting these things in for, well, since I was a little lad. Since I was a wee lad. Since I was like yay high. They've been putting these in, and the design remains unchanged as far as I know. But they're genuinely quite good. You can paint them, weather them, make them look really good, and I like them. I've got millions of them by now. Well, maybe not millions. And then of course, there's a few accessories here. There's some piping, and there's what look like some steps. That's really quite cool, especially for a railroad model. You get a spare coupling, just in case you wanted to put a coupling on the front and make it go in reverse or something. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but it's there if you wanted to do it. And then of course, your adapter, your plug. This is a British one, obviously, as you can see by the 3 prongs, but if you're in Europe or the United States, you can get adapters, you can get transformers for these. Probably best to consult with Hornby though, or whoever you bought the train set from, just to make sure that the power outage, the ampage and the volts and stuff are all going to be compatible. You don't want anything to blow up. So 1, 2, 3. 3 coaches. We've looked at the controller, we've looked at the track. Let's get it going. Okay, let's get this track map set up then. It's a little bit bumpy, but I definitely don't recommend ironing it because you'd probably set everywhere on fire. But it's definitely good enough for me to put the loco down and get it run in. Okay, the loco is on. The points are set correctly. We've got power, everything's plugged in. We should be okay to go. Let's see. Beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to reverse the loco into the siding to actually just make use of the siding whilst we put the coaches on. Nice and gently. A little bit more power. A little bit more. Oh, stop. Yeah, well done, Will. Really smooth. Not. Okay, time to put these 3 teak coaches on. Okay, I'm going to put the coaches on just here, and then we've got the loco to come out of the siding and reverse into the coaches and pick them up nice and gently. So I'll put this rearmost one on first. You can tell this is the rear one because of the way that there's fewer windows at this end. Basically this is the brake coach, so this is probably where you'd find the guard. So we'll put that one on, and then these others don't matter quite as much, but we'll put it so that the third class is towards the back. And then the same with this one. Oh, not quite right. That dreaded noise. Do you hear that noise? Railway modellers around the globe are familiar with that noise. Okay, right. Time to get the loco to come out of that siding again. Foot direction. Change the points, and crash into the camcorder. Okay, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Okay, perfect. Take it away, P2. Bit more speed. Look at that. Magnificent. Well, she's running beautifully. In fact, she's completely run in now, and she's got the coaches still. There's one thing. If I just there we go. If I just stop the controller, there is one thing you'll notice. Basically, the track is not where it's supposed to be anymore. Just look at that. Look at this. The siding is completely out of position, out of place. Basically, you know, I mean, you'd have to find something much more permanent than this, something much more reliable. It's not bad. It's great just to get going. It's great for kids, but yeah, the track, because it's not fixed to the track mat, is just sliding about all over the top of it like a car on a massive ice plane or something. The loco itself is really, really nice. It runs really well. Although I did have some trouble with the controllers. I had to try another controller. And then in the end, I ended up using the Gauge Master Combi controller. Basically, I think the controller kept short-circuiting. I don't know why. I think it kept shorting it out. I don't know if it was maybe the power track. It could be this section of track that kept shorting. It could be the loco itself. I'm not too sure. I would have to investigate further. But basically, unplugging and then plugging everything in again seemed to solve it. So, very bizarre. Do watch out for that. Other than that, yes, it's a fantastic set. It's really, really good value for money. The coaches genuinely are rather nice, as you can see. And the loco itself, it's a P2. and it's hard to find words to describe a P2.
This train terminates here. Please ensure that you take all your belongings with you when you leave the train. Thank you for travelling with us today.
Hey peeps, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave a comment, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.